Donald Trump sworn in for a second term as U.S. president, promising to push the limits of executive power and reshape the nation's role globally. Trump has already outlined several executive actions, with a focus on border security and immigration. He plans to declare a national emergency at the southern border, deploy armed troops, and reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy for asylum seekers. His inauguration marks a dramatic return, following 2 impeachment trials, an assassination attempt, and an indictment over the 2020 election. Trump's ceremony will be held indoors due to extreme cold, for years after a mob of his supporters stormed the Capitol to block Biden's victory. Trump also plans to restore the federal death penalty, revoke diversity initiatives, and issue pardons for those involved in the January 6th attack. Despite controversies, he enters office emboldened, with a Republican-controlled Congress and no significant internal opposition. Hamas has vowed that Gaza and its people will rebuild and rise again after the devastation caused by over 15 months of Israeli bombardment. This statement was made on the second day of a ceasefire with Israel. The UN Secretary-General, 𝐒𝐭𝐲 Guterres, warned that any annexation of the West Bank by Israel would be a serious violation of international law, highlighting the risk to the integrity of Palestinian territories, including Gaza. Meanwhile, 2 Palestinian civilians, including a teenage boy, were killed by Israeli snipers in southern Gaza's Rafah, despite the ceasefire. The Israeli military has yet to comment on this incident. In Gaza, the Civil Defense Agency reports that 10,000 bodies remain missing beneath the rubble, and over 97,000 injured Palestinians have been recovered. Tragically, 2,840 bodies were vaporized by Israeli weaponry during the invasion. The death toll continues to rise, with 60 Palestinians killed in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of deaths since October 7, 2023 to 47,035. According to Gaza's health ministry, PTI, Secretary General Salman Akram Raja has warned that the party will end talks with the government by January 28th unless they're allowed to meet incarcerated party founder Imran Khan. PTI's relationship with the government has worsened since Imran's arrest, with protests often turning violent. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court of Pakistan is facing questions on its jurisdiction over constitutional matters. Justice Syed Mansur Ali Shah asked why a key case hadn't been heard yet, as the court was meant to discuss whether regular benches can handle constitutional law issues. This will be debated today, January 20. Furthermore, global copper demand is set to rise, driven by electrification and renewable energy projects. Barrick Gold CEO Mark Bristow highlighted 𝐒𝐭𝐲𝐬𝐬 as the world's largest untapped copper resource, despite its troubled history. The mine could start producing by 2028, just as copper demand peaks. Finally, the Pakistan Stock Exchange saw a strong day, with shares rising 500 points, fueled by anticipation ahead of the central bank's monetary policy meeting on January 27th. The 𝐾SE 100 index ended the day up by 572 points.